Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How are you all doing?
Good.
Great.
Excellent. Without further ado, who wants to go ahead and kick off exactly where we started playing this game last time?
Well, last time we started, we had just finished our investigations into that mysterious hidden in a tree, partially in the wall, cave tree. And before the guards had arrived, Elizabeth and Arya had just arrived via teleportation with
Nodal.
Nodal. Which is probably the only reason why Tia Amakia didn't attack us on sight as soon as we appeared in her basement.
Yep.
But yeah, we returned Nodal. She was very, very angry with us because, we'd done snooping, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. She was understandably angry. Arya was Arya about it.
She was not understandably angry, in my opinion.
Yeah. Elizabeth thought that it was fine that she was angry and that Elizabeth would also be angry. Arya, however, was like, "We just rescued your friend. You should at least say thank you."
And I stand by that.
Yeah, Nodal and Mendatas at least did say thank you. They were very grateful about the whole thing. And yeah, to avoid an actual fight, we just left as quickly as possible and headed back over to Kelariis and Grim, who were communicating with the guards. And yeah, basically they got help. They got the guards to come back with the guard captain, who's probably very sick of us now. Poor lady.
Yeah, Captain Trailwind.
Captain Trailwind. Yeah, they came back. Captain Trailwind. They had a talk with her, and were like, "Yeah, we can give you some details, but some of it should probably be kept private." At which point, yeah, she led us to a private setting where we explained the exact details of this cult and what the experiment is trying to do, and she was like, "Well, this is a lot." At which point she agreed that some of it was going to be left out of her report, but it's, but yeah, at least she has the details now of exactly what's going on. And we would have had a perfect night's sleep if it were not for the fact that just before we were about to go to bed, some fucking storm guard show up and was like, "The fucking exile wants to talk to you."
We're like,
what? And we were like, what? So off we went to go talk with Exarch Felkir.
Yes.
And he was like, "Yo, what you've done has pissed a lot of people off. I still support you for now because you seem to be doing the right thing, but everyone else is real mad." And we were like, "Yo, that's okay. We were gonna leave anyway."
Yeah.
So he basically gave us a warning that others on the Council of Elves are seriously debating limiting our experiment and our involvement in the city in general. So yeah, he basically advised us to keep our heads down after this incident, which is fine because everyone else was going to go back home anyway, and Elizabeth was just going to stay on college grounds working on working on this project. At which point, Elizabeth teleported everyone home the following morning, and Grim advised that Elizabeth should stay over permanently just to get this project done as quickly as possible. And Elizabeth agreed to do that, and from there we had some fun little RP moments of saying some temporary goodbyes to I've forgotten her name.
Kaziara.
I'm forgetting everyone's name. Kaziara. Saying some temporary goodbyes to Kaziara, who apparently has found a possible way for her to get home off in the northwest. Grim even offered the assistance of our elite squad to get her there safely. Who she'd been bonding with via sparring. Kelariis and Arya had their sparring after a conversation with her. She then had a conversation with Grim explaining this, and then a conversation with Elizabeth because, well, Elizabeth's leaving like the following day. Elizabeth said some goodbyes to Gulgo and Sidani, and asked Sidani to update her new chess friend. And
Chess friend.
Chess friend.
Best
Woo!
friend.
Chess friend sounds like what historians would call a woman's female lover to avoid acknowledging that they were a lover. But anyway.
Continue.
So yeah, we had that. Yeah, we had those little conversations, and I believe that's roughly where we left off.
Yes.
With the conversations having been had and a nice little RP session, all done.
Okay. So I think, with that in mind, picking up this session, we will skip ahead a little. As it took almost 4 weeks of intense study and arcane workmanship for Elizabeth to recharge the Atrian crystal and prepare the necessary modifications to the Orrery. Working tirelessly alongside the staff of the Arcane Academy, and the handful of students who dedicated their time to the research and monitoring of the Orrery's magical output, Elizabeth finally realised that there would be one last hurdle to overcome before the device could finally fulfil its purpose. Whilst the Orrery was capable of identifying a magical source across great distances, and the Astrian compass could show the relative distance to the disturbance, the device lacked any way to present planar separation. A magical source located within a plane or two would be detectable and traceable to a recognisable degree. But to expand that beyond into multi-layered planes like Celestia or the Nine Hells, any sense of definitive placement was soon lost. Not prepared to give up so close to the party's goal, however, Elizabeth pressed on. After several late evenings of fevered working, Professor Oakenlock presented a potential solution. A way to refine the Orrery's output and produce a finer resolution of data. After recruiting the somewhat hesitant Professor Inokan Shadethorn, the Academy's head of illusion, the trio set about producing a new module for the Orrery, affectionately termed the Cartographer by Elizabeth. With Elizabeth overseeing, Professors Oakenlock and Shadethorn began prototyping the workings of the Cartographer, alongside a method of transposing the Cartographer's data into the compass itself, allowing the data from the Orrery's operation to become portable. The Orrery, Cartographer, and compass all working together, Elizabeth was quietly confident that they could finally achieve their goal, and whilst the two professors worked on the intricacies of the Cartographer, she decided to return to the Amber Eagle to prepare for the grand celebrations. Of course, the rest of the Amber Eagle had not sat idle whilst this time passed. Reports of both Legion and Fellowship activities had to be addressed, and whilst none of the conclaves produced any meaningful leads on their end goals, the increase in activity sat uncomfortably on no company. More activity from both sides of the Legion was certain to mean that their plans were accelerating, and it was with great anticipation that the party awaited news of Elizabeth's success. The uneasy atmosphere did not persist for too long, however, before the mood of celebration began to bubble up within the Amber Eagle's ranks. Guests began to wend their way towards the fortress, chief among the first wave being the Greysurge clan, accompanied by Thalithsyr's mother. Being so far from their respective homes, the Dragonborn of the Amber Eagle set about introducing their families to the surrounding area and helping them to settle in. Shortly after came an influx of elves, along with the Tallithsyr family, and not long after that came the extended family of the Agiads. Soon the stronghold's walls began to echo with new voices, and it became more difficult to focus on the stresses of waiting for answers. As a lazy summer's afternoon rolled around, not 2 days before the celebrations were due to get underway, Grim took an unexpected meeting with Angelica, who had arrived recently among the returning mercenary squad that had accompanied Kaziara. And that is where we will pick up our session.
Okay.
So, sitting in the grand war room of the Amber Eagle, Grim, Angelica concludes her report. She folds up the piece of paper and sort of says, in summary, not a whole lot more to report. The cells that you have been dealing with up to this point seem to have fallen quiet, and well, if they are up to anything, the Legion is keeping their nose clean for the moment. I'm not sure that means we're out of the woods just yet, but we've at least bought ourselves a breather.
Honestly, it doesn't sound much like a breather, if you ask me. It sounds like they're getting things in order once again, which chaos was, well, even though it wasn't good for the people, at least meant that they weren't getting anywhere or getting anything done.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. She sort of like narrows her eyes from it and just sort of says, "You look more concerned than I've seen you in a while. Do you want to share?"
Well, things are escalating, and it's we just haven't been able to take any meaningful action in quite some time, like towards stopping this this menace. Like we've helped people, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But regardless, it doesn't sit right that we haven't been able to do much.
She sort of nods along to that and says, "You prefer an opportunity to make a decisive action?"
Well, see, in the past we've been kind of been whittling away at their operations. Maybe those operations might be restored, but like every time, like it takes time to rebuild things. And it's been, well, I guess the only thing we've dealt with recently is them, trying to directly sabotage us, but that's not exactly stopping them. Well, that's just stopping them from stopping us, but that's not quite the same.
She nods along and says, "Yeah, I can imagine that's frustrating, to say the least." She sort of goes to stand up and sort of says, "Well, if that's all, I can look for opportunities that we might be able to push a little deeper. But first of all, I do have kind of a confession to make."
And what would this confession be?
She smiles and just sort of says, "Well, if I'm brutally honest with you, my hope of delivering this report in person was not just to give you this information and ask for an update. That could have been done in a letter, but more along the lines of, I was kind of hoping to get in on this party."
Hell yeah.
I just want an invitation to a party.
Hell yeah.
I guess that could be arranged. We were perhaps planning something later as for the rest of the people, but I think we could get you a seat.
She basically grins and gives you a cheeky wink and says, "Oh, I appreciate that. I really do."
Are you okay? I thought for a second you're gonna say you needed a second seat, which, but I wasn't quite sure. I don't know what how things have been going in that department.
She sort of like shakes her head and says, well, yeah, I guess she sort of like shakes her head and says, "Yeah, I haven't really got all that much in the range of +1s. Career's kind of been a bit restrictive, and family, well, we don't really see eye to eye a lot of the time."
Yeah, I had a hunch, but I thought I might as well ask. So, well, I think it might be good for you to, well, I guess you'll get to know the rest a little.
She nods and smiles and says, "Yeah, outside of the try that again. Outside of Lars's unit, I haven't really met anyone else."
Yes, that is true. Yeah, like introductions have been brief. I would say.
At this point, A knock on the war room door interrupts you.
Nope.
Uh,
Well. Yep.
I say, yeah.
I-
As you sort of turn your attentions to the knock on the door is pushed ajar, and Vondal pokes his head around the door, and he sort of says, "Ah, Grim, are you done here?"
I think we don't necessarily need the war room if that's it, but I'm guessing it's me you need.
Yeah, we've gotten our next wave of guests, and I thought you might want to greet these ones in person.
Well, I'll be there in a minute. Just I'll be right there, and then I will just quickly. I'll turn to wow.
Angelica.
Yeah, Angelica, and be like, well, I guess if you're gonna show up for the party, you might as well stay here till it's over. But we'll arrange a spot for you. I have some, well, I guess someone in to attend to.
She smiles and says, "Appreciate it, boss."
Good.
We love Angelica.
Okay.
And I'll, yeah.
So, yeah, you leave the Automaladron to her own business and head to the main open area at the front of the Amber Eagle Keep. To find, there are indeed a number of new guests who seem to have arrived at the same time. One of which is a single elf who looks rather uncomfortable and out of place in a set of finer clothes than you've ever seen them wearing before. It is Llewellyn, Lethari's apprentice. Alongside a large cart that is bustling with activity, being directed around. So it's essentially a number of your mercenaries are being directed to unload this cart by a loud and very authoritative voice that you can only recognize as your father.
Wait, did they travel together? Oh no. Well, I guess could be worse.
So yeah, as you approach, something catches your attention that is somewhat unusual. The cart that your family has travelled in is much larger than what you would expect them to have travelled here in. Because the majority of the cart seems to have been taken up with a large wardrobe and a number of chairs.
Why?
As you approach them, your mother catches sight of you first, and beckons out to you to embrace you.
I'll follow up with an embrace.
Yeah, you hug her.
Hug your mother, Grim.
She smiles and is like, Quagrim, it's so good to see you.
It has been a while, and I think this is the first time you've been here.
She nods and looks around and says, "Indeed, yes. You've done wonders with the place. Your father's been telling people about how impressive this is, but I think even this beats what we were thinking."
Well, I will admit it beat what I thought what it would become as well, but I'm not going to complain. Things have been going rather well.
Your father quickly bustles over at the sound of conversation and reaches out a hand towards you and says, "Grim, my boy."
There you go, you've been my boy.
Oh, hey, Pops. How you doing? And then you just go in for a hug as well.
Yeah. They hug each other and he says, well, you've been busy, I see, but...
Yes. Well, fortunately, this is not just all my handiwork. We have. That would have taken forever, but yeah, so it's taking shape.
He nods at that and like points at you and says, "Ah, well, I managed to find a few things to embellish it along the way." At which point Izzy comes out from behind the cart and is basically just like he literally picked them up off the side of the road.
Well, you know, it's what he said. He found him along the way. That's
Your father like frantically just like starts shaking his head and says, "No, the man was selling them." At which point your sister is just like, "He was giving them away. Dad ensured that we made sure we paid him, though." Apparently, you're really in need of a wardrobe and some chairs.
I appreciate the gesture nonetheless. But yeah, hello to you too.
She smiles and hugs you as well.
Yeah.
At which point, like this commotion in the whole like the gatehouse holding area has drawn a lot of attention. Your companions are all sort of like standing around, come to see what the noise is. Arya, Elizabeth, Kelariis. At which point, Llewellyn sort of like sidles up and says, Grim, good to see you again."
Ah, yes, it's been a while. It's good to see you too. Have you come alone, or do you also have someone else?
He shakes his head and says, "No, I think I'm here as an apology. I'm not entirely sure. But your family were kind enough to offer me a ride as we met on the road."
Well, you know what? In that case, just have a great time.
He produces a letter from inside his new coat and sort of like presents it to you and says, "I found this bundled with these clothes and an instruction to come here and give this to you. So I'm going to assume this explains more."
We'll look at that later, or like I'll take it and then like I'll
you pocket the letter.
Don't worry about that now. It has been I think the last time. When is the last time we saw you? Man, I guess I won't quickly forget when we met. However, that was
I think the last time was when you stopped by for the sword.
Yeah, I do believe it is. Well, how are things anyway? Still, the fire is still making you do apparently all kinds of things.
He sort of grits his teeth a little and says, "Yes, Thar is still a demanding teacher, shall we say?"
Yeah, was definitely with some unique ways, but seems to work out.
Well, let's just say that a lot of her methods have results.
Yeah, good. Guess I'm gonna. Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna introduce you, but you don't need no introduction for these guys. But the rest of my family might not. No, actually, you have all met Elizabeth and Arya and Kelariis.
He nods and says, "Yes, I have." And sort of turns to the rest of you, bows and says, "Pleasure to see you all again."
Oh no, I knew you had. It was my family I was thinking of.
Well, yeah, we stopped by for the safe and for the
Oh yes,
those the poison potions, not the poison potions, but like you know what I mean.
The resistance ones.
Yeah.
Which worked very well, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for those.
From behind the car, Izzy's thumb just goes up in the air.
Oof. Yeah. I guess I will show you around. There will be some more people that will meet along the way, most likely.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So
like
you. Sorry, carry on.
like and I'll introduce them to people like Sedani and Fasera if we
Yeah.
encounter them, and
Yeah, so you
and,
lead them inside the fort and prepare to sort of give introductions. And it's about like as you are sort of approaching the space of the main hall, to start giving the inside tour, that you are interrupted by something very strange. As you are walking towards and approaching the main hall, the four of you notice. Sorry, the three of you notice. Kelariis also notices, but is not here. The three of you notice there is a almost like a shimmering space in the air in between you and the main hall, and just as you pause upon noticing this, it begins to unfold in front of you, essentially revealing I guess the best way to describe it is almost like a window opens in front of you, but rather than looking out onto some other space, it just looks out onto a field of stars. And as the field of stars coalesces in front of you, three figures step forth.
Elizabeth's immediately on alert.
Okay.
Like she's at least she's probably just holding her staff Ugh.
Okay.
I don't happen to recognize any of these figures, right?
You do. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
Trying to think of who this could
be. I'm guessing it's from up north. Oh no!
What?
It's
what?
I can't.
So yeah, three figures step through the starry void in front of you.
What?
Two of whom you recognize, one of whom you do not.
Who's that?
Me?
Shit.
So yes, stepping through the portal are V, Lily, and a large figure that you don't recognize. I think most of you have seen a Goliath before, with the exception of perhaps Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, so a large Goliath, clad in winter, essentially like a large winter cloak, over the top of some slightly smarter looking attire, steps through behind the group. At which point, the crowd that you are leading sort of is just taken aback and surprised. The brief moment of surprise is essentially interrupted, Grim, by your father turning around and basically saying, "Friends of yours, I presume."
Yeah, Elizabeth's just gonna
yes.
lower her staff. It's yeah.
Elizabeth
unreadies her staff because she was ready to fight just in case.
Oof. It's not but not quite an entrance I've seen before, but
a very dramatic entrance, but I approve.
But hello, welcome.
Hi guys.
Oh god. How'd you do that?
It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, I mean, we did some traveling, so,
How did you do that?
It took a little while. Oh, I just used my staff. I didn't feel like walking. We were really far up north.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't have walked either, but, yeah. That's a cool staff you've got there, then.
It's my stick!
Also, technically, you were in the Feywild, but...
Oh, That's fair. We were in the
you
Feywild.
definitely- You definitely don't want to
Yeah.
walk from there.
Fine.
Yeah, lot further to walk even than the north.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't want to walk that.
Oof.
I don't actually know if you could physically walk it.
Probably not.
Probably not. But anyway, it's good to see you back.
It's
Think
good to
you
be
could-
back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you.
Yeah, V. So you after stepping out of this portal and greeting your new friends, this place is a lot bigger than the last time you were here. Like you came back briefly whilst this place was under construction, but even then it wasn't quite as expansive as this. Most of the structures now appear to be have been constructed out of stone. There's an initial curtain wall followed by a secondary outer wall. And this place is absolutely bustling with people. You presume the majority of them are mercenaries, but at least some of them appear to be in more casual clothes and are most likely guests for the upcoming celebration.
Ooh,
Do you like
big party.
my high quality Sims map?
I love it. Thank you.
It's great, isn't it? Elizabeth's also going to go, oh, thinking of, teleporting rather than walking. And then she, turns to Arya, it's like, we're probably going to want to, figure out when we're going to get,
You could say his name. It's not a secret.
Okay, yeah, we should figure out when we're going to get Jeldrum then, because,
Everyone knows he's coming, I assume.
Yeah. Well, presumably the plan was to pick him up to later this afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent, yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
She looks so young on that token.
Yeah. Oh, I should
Hey.
probably make the point of describing that the V that is currently standing in front of you, whilst it
What
can't.
season is it?
It is summer.
Okay.
This is critical to understanding how V looks.
Yeah, of course it is.
So
Yeah.
whilst this is almost well, this has to be V. This literally can't be anybody else. I accidentally deleted you. Put you back in. There we go.
Dear.
That's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
The brief disappearance of V.
So whilst the V that stands in front of you is almost certainly V, she looks a lot different to the last time that you have seen her. Part of it is just the way that she stands. She seems a lot more confident in herself, and the way that the two companions that are accompanying her seem to almost be they stand to her shoulders much as the way that your lieutenants stand to you, Grim. She definitely has more of an aura of leadership about her, but it's not just the way that she projects herself. There is a physical difference to the way she stands as well. There is almost a faint luster to the way that the light is currently shining down on her hair and her clothes. Elizabeth, you recognize this sort of this is quite a potent magical aura, presumably coming from a combination of magical artifacts as well as physical ability or magical ability. The other thing that you notice, Grim, as well, is as she looks at you look beyond, you look at her into her eyes and beyond just the physical appearance of her, and it's almost like there's almost a greater depth to V as a being.
Mildly concerning, almost.
Take that as you will.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Have you become 4D?
Oh my god.
5D even.
Shit.
Oh,
So,
no.
She's 4 parallel universes ahead of you.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one small important question.
Yeah, who's your new friend?
How is Ilowen?
Oh yeah, Elowen.
Elowen is no longer
yeah.
here.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, we planted Elowen, didn't we?
Y-
Elowen got
it-
planted.
Elowen is the heart of the grove now.
Yeah.
She's doing great.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
It's good
Elowen's
to
great.
hear.
Ah, good.
Who's who's your new friend? Gesturing to Goliath.
You might have to pronounce this one for me, Rob.
Yes.
Butcher this one.
Let me get it open real quick because I foolishly closed it.
Mood.
He is Voromak Farwalker.
Foramak.
What a Mac.
He's a friend.
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I really hoped you'd be a friend.
Voromak like raises a large hand and just says, "Hi. You can call me Farwalker or Mac."
Mac,
Okay,
the gold.
that makes things a
or
lot
the
easier.
Goliath.
So you guys are the Amber Eagle. It's real nice to meet you all. V's told me a lot about you.
Yes,
Yeah.
welcome.
Nice to meet you too.
How did
Yes,
you
this-
become to be in V's acquaintance?
Sort of like looks across at you and is like, "Oh, that's kind of a long story." Essentially,
I mean, you just kind of said that I answered all of your questions somehow, and I was kind of confused. But I mean, like, it's okay.
yeah. I mean, well,
Oh,
I guess the sort of the physical answer, I guess, is I was up north. My tribe come from the north originally. I've always sort of been a bit of a roamer, I guess you'd say, and well, a few chance happenings led me to V, and let's just say we've had some interesting conversations, and V has enlightened me.
oh yeah, you were gonna go. Well, V, you were going around spreading that message, weren't you?
Yeah,
Almost.
I think it's good to know about death and stuff.
Yeah.
Death
You
and
should make sure you
stuff.
catch up.
Especially the stuff.
You should make sure you catch up with Vondal as well. I'm sure he'd love to see you.
Oh, that would be
wherever
nice.
he is.
He's in there somewhere.
Probably busy somewhere else sorting out guests.
Yeah, he's. To be fair, he's probably dealing with all the stuff that your lot's brought, Grim.
Yeah, they'll manage. Like Fundal will manage. Otherwise, we've got plenty of mercenaries here that can help out with a little lift and.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear more about your travels, V.
At this point, Grim, like your pops like taps you on the shoulder and just says, "We'll go make ourselves comfortable inside. Seems like you've got a lot of catching up to do."
Yes, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure more guests will be arriving in. So I'll find you in a bit.
Yeah, V, this the man like next to Grim sort of like waves at you, and it's kind of obvious that like he just looks like an older version of Grim, although admittedly like slightly more portly and less rugged. And a bit more like redder in the cheeks. He just sort of waves at you and says, "Ah, nice to meet you, Miss V and entourage," and he strides off, his family in tow.
Yep.
Oh, this place is so cool.
Oof.
It's definitely grown a lot since you've last been here.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I've not had as good of a look around as everyone else has.
How come?
I've been in Argentellon mostly.
Oh.
We've been working with the college for a rather large project, and it's taking up a lot of my time.
Well, I hope it goes really well.
Things are going pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have been split up a lot, or?
Mostly just Elizabeth.
Yeah. I don't want
just
to
not
be they don't want to get involved in all the magic mumbo jumbo of things.
It
Well,
is a
it's not
lot
that
of
we
mumbo
just finished
jumbo.
ball.
Yeah, it is.
We were kind of told to
We-
leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
just told.
Exarch
Please
Felkir
go.
did recommend that we stay away from the city for a while.
Yeah, as it
And
What
turns
did you
out,
do?
Did.
Time?
Well, it was basically what you guys did last time. Finding a cult incursion,
Yeah.
and rooting them out.
Oh.
But things might have gotten well. Kelariis and Arya might have done a very public takedown of one particular individual.
Kelariis with one hand on hip just says, "Hey."
Look, I'm not. I know you had no choice, and I'm not trying to discredit. I'm just saying that it happened. Like I wouldn't have done any better in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelariis like turns back to you, V, and just sort of says, "We try to keep the gang together, but sometimes we have our own missions."
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, what would these guys do while I'm sat in a college tinkering with a large magic construct?
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Whipping,
Yeah.
like whipping some rookies into shape. That's what we're doing.
Well, yeah, well, that's what. Like, if you were in the capital, you'd have considerably less to do. I'm pretty sure Arya and Kelariis might go slightly mad. Just sitting
Yeah.
around.
It would have been a little bit boring, but
Oh, try and set up a pro non-elf campaign.
yeah, I'm gonna defeat racism.
Just
Yeah.
a PR campaign.
Somehow I don't think that's
Although-
like kind of Arya's remit.
Oh, I don't think any of us would do well in a PR campaign, but like
No, probably not.
that's
Well,
why.
Kelariis maybe.
Kelariis holds up both hands, and is like, "Don't
Well-
look at me."
I'm just saying you have a more. You at least. Honestly, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying you'd be the best at that. I'm not saying you'd be good, but I'm just saying you'd be better than any of us.
I think that's kind of process of elimination, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, again, none of us are really suited to that, but
I don't know.
well, we can
Fortunately,
show you to your room. I think I'm assuming we saved one for B, right? Like one of
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
permanent rooms. Cool.
yeah, we'll go.
We can show you. We can show you around. Give you a tour.
We can find rooms for Lily and well, I don't know where the Goliath. Does he fit in a normal
I mean,
room?
we have. Well, yeah, he'd fit in a normal room.
he,
We
he
might-
kind of has to crouch to get into most of them, but yeah.
Also, I
Okay.
feel
I mean,
like
yeah,
you
it's
might
still-
need a big bed.
Oh,
I mean, we have.
like, is
big
it a double
beds.
bed that like my parents brought? Because then we just put two double beds, like.
I
in
think the
line.
problem is length rather than width.
Yeah.
No, but like you just make a very wide bed so it becomes longer than it's wider than it's long, and then you just
Oh, and then sleep sideways across them.
sleep sideways.
Sounds a little uncomfortable, but
Yeah, well.
Mac just sort of like holds up his hands and says, "I'm sure it'll be fine, guys. Don't worry about me."
worst
You're
case
kind of used to
scenario-
sleeping outside.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, I can maybe try and make a longer bed with some spare wood. I don't know.
Some spare.
I can try and fabricate something. I don't know.
Do you have a spell that just makes a bed?
Well,
Yes.
I have the spell that makes
Yeah.
that. I made that cart for the.
Oh,
the
that's true. You did make that
for
card.
the chromats. I imagine it can't be too much harder to make a bed. I just need, well, stuff for the mattress and the covers, whatever they're made of.
Up to this point, like Lily has just been sort of staring like around at the like taking in the whole situation and not really like paying a whole lot of attention to the fact that there's a conversation going on. Lily's like suddenly like turns around like paying attention and just says, "But does it make the bed?"
But does it make a bed?
It depends. Are you using the make the bed term as in neatening it up after you've slept in it to make it look presentable, or do you mean making as in actually physically constructing?
That's what I'm asking.
Well, in terms of physical constructing, yes, it would physically make the bed, but it wouldn't. I mean,
I feel
you
like
know
it
what?
might.
I
make
don't
the
know
bed.
because I've never made a bed before. There's only one way to find out.
Oh, Lily.
Well. I guess you two can figure that out later.
At this metaphysical conundrum, Lily just immediately goes back into the sort of concentrating face that they always have.
Also, yeah. Well, nice seeing you, Lily.
They snap back out, smile, and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
So what have you guys been up to aside from the whole magic in Argentellorant?
What have we been up to?
Mostly just
Well-
trying to find links to lead us to the Legion.
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
found
we-
some of those.
And we also
Oh.
had a
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I
also had a
found some of those guys.
We also had a little side venture down south in the mountains near the just inside Dragonborn territory, where we were like, you know, there was a village that might have been in trouble, and also we knew there was a dragon in the area anyway. So we were like, let's see if we can, you know, solve both these issues. And it ended up getting a lot more complicated than I think any of us expected.
Hmm.
Well,
I feel like that's kind of like a running theme.
Yeah, yeah, it really
yeah.
is.
Yep.
Like we almost adopted like the last of the Chromat civilization.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the last of the Chromats.
They're close.
Yeah, we almost started a war
Oh.
with the Dragonborn.
You probably shouldn't do that.
No,
Yeah, we're
probably
trying to
not.
avoid doing that. But
Fine.
Long
as long as
story
they don't
short, we found some Chromats had been doing the old give us resources from a local village, so we saved the local village and then went to these Chromats, and it turns out that they're also in an equally tricky situation, and so we felt bad, and basically we tried to, you know, find a way to get them out of there.
Hmm.
So they're now... They've hopefully crossed the mountains by now and are looking for somewhere else to... and have hopefully found a decent place to settle
hopefully.
outside of Dragonborn territory, but we'll see.
But yeah, you mentioned something about Leeds.
Oh no, I just ran into the Dread Legion like a couple of times. They're just
Oh.
kind of around,
Yeah.
usually making people's lives worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't really, like if I see them, I gotta do something about it.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
the Dread Legion is related to a thing to the reason that the Exarch was like, maybe you should not be an Argentinoan for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was more Dread Legion people because they'd kidnapped someone special to a tinkerer who had then worked with one of the students in the college to try and sabotage our project, and it was really weird.
That wasn't
Ooh.
good.
But
I mean, we rescued the person who was captured though, and then that was
Yeah.
what caused the scene.
Oh,
however,
okay.
Also, they
thinking
weren't too
of-
happy because we did kind of go snooping through their things to find out what why they'd been making this thing. So they still weren't exactly happy.
Yeah, but we don't sweat the details. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I did realize there have been some other big things that I don't know how much you've caught wind of.
Hmm?
Like, have you met our well, I wanted to say our elite squad. Well, I guess we'll call them the elite squad for now. Have you met the elite boys? The
Elite
The elite boy.
Eliteboys.exe
Well-
activate.
well, like it's a pretty good mix of boys and girls, but
Our elite squadron.
elite squad.
I don't think I have met any elite boys or girls.
Wow, I thought at least we would be elites, but no, no.
Well, I don't think you were referring to yourselves.
No,
No,
we
that's
Also,
true.
like-
that was meant as a joke.
Yeah.
But
One of
but
them
yeah,
is my
I
sister.
should probably meet them as well. Because they've been going around taking care
Yeah.
of things that we don't have time to take care of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
are
they've been there.
actually a little bit more competent than most, or a lot more
by this-
competent than most.
By the sounds of it, Lars is still pushing them a little hard, but whatever.
But
I mean, that's
I'm
Lars.
just happy that none of fine.
We
Thundar
also
like
have a
to
lot of
push as
horses
well.
now.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
I
we-
think would be relevant to V's interest.
Ooh, horses.
We do have
Also the garden.
Great.
Don't forget the
Oh
garden.
yeah, we have a garden. The garden now.
garden, more horses. Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
Just wildlife in general.
things have changed.
Oh, and don't forget
Wait.
Lyra.
I was gonna say, has V seen Lyra since she's got big?
Don't think so.
She saw her when she was getting big, but not now that she is full size.
Oh,
Okay. Well, Lyra is a full-size direwolf now, so
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
straight up like horse-sized.
Oh,
horse,
she's very talented.
horse wolf, wolf horse.
Yeah, Lyra sort of like at this introduction like pads out from behind you and is just sort of like I guess just sort of like sits by your side, but is like I guess just like sort of looks at you for a long time, V, and then just sort of like bows her head.
He
Like a
just immediately
griffin.
goes in for pets.
Yep,
Yep.
she'll allow it.
That's a big deal. She doesn't allow any
Yeah.
just anyone to pet her.
Congratulations, you are now one of 2 people that Lyra lets pet her.
She always was.
Yeah,
True.
she let V pet her
True.
straight off, I think.
Not straight away, but not
Well-
not too long afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like V? Let's be honest here.
It feels like yesterday when you found her as like a little tiny baby pup.
I know. And now she's a big, giant direwolf, inspiring fear across the land.
Yeah.
Well, she was also like a daughter of Melora, right? So I think there was a bit of in between.
Yeah. She
Mm,
is still a daughter of Melora, so.
Max sort of like nods along to this and sort of says, "There are tales in my society of the children of the elder deities, I guess you would call them, taking shape as animals. It is entirely possible that that is true."
I mean, I know for a fact it's true because I've spoken to Lyra about it.
Yeah.
He seems very surprised by this and just sort of says, "I see."
You know, we nearly went past the northern mountains for a solution to one of our problems. I say nearly.
Oh,
Well, we
yeah,
were in the
there was a-
Feywilds for a little bit.
Oh yeah, we've been to the Feywild a lot, but I meant like past the mountains towards
Yeah.
Goliaths.
Yeah, we were considering finding the tribes at one point. I can't even remember why.
I don't know. I remember why. It was related to our power source issues for the
Oh,
for our project.
Oh,
yes.
right.
But
Yeah,
that's
we
when
also
we
went
decided
to
to go.
Instead, we went to the elemental plane of air for the Atrium.
Yeah. And we met some Ganassi.
Yep.
Oh, maybe we could have
We
met
may
up,
have.
Which
randomly meet in the mountains.
that would have been nice.
It would have been very confusing.
Yeah. Instead, I have to have a really serious talk with my parents at some point. As soon as they arrive,
Yeah.
because knowing them, they're not going to miss this. Have they already arrived?
Not yet.
Okay. So then, yeah,
Well,
there's just like,
they're
as soon as
still
they get here, I
coming.
need to have a talk with them.
Have you done something wrong?
Well, no, I mean,
What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
Oh, we did, like
It's not our fault.
we needed something, and we went to their realm, and then
Yeah,
we
have to explore the elemental
we
plane
got
of air.
something from
Did you
a
steal
vault,
it?
which well, the owner
Stealing
Sounds
is
like
a
you
he's
stole
alive.
strong word.
You definitely
didn't-
stole it.
Well, no, we didn't steal. We didn't steal it. It was
You
in a place
definitely
that was.
stole it. It
was
sounds
in a
like you
place that
stole
was-
it.
It was in a place that was long abandoned, and the current occupants gave us permission to take it.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually
Oh,
exactly
yeah,
what
I
happened.
spoke with the current occupants, and they gave us permission.
They did
Still sounds like you
Their
stole
only
it.
condition was that we didn't go upstairs, which we didn't. We went downstairs.
So why is this an issue then?
Well,
It's not that that's the issue. I need to talk to my parent because I kind of thought I was one of the only Ganassi, and lo and behold, we went to a city that was full of them.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's a more personal issue.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with like what we did wrong.
Kind
or
of
wrong with them.
awkward.
Yeah, a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you can't come to the elemental plane. You can't come to the plane of air with me. It's too dangerous. There's fucking loads of Ganassi there. Sorry, I won't do this now.
But yeah,
Okay.
we went there. We also went to Cindershell Landing down south.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah.
Which
In case you don't know, that's a place where they allow worship of every god.
Oh, that
there's
could
also
be
a lot
good
of-
and bad.
I mean,
yeah,
that was basically the sum of the our time there. Good. Some of it was good. Some of it was bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like there was a lot
It's-
about there.
Yeah,
Which
it's one of
we
those.
fixed,
It's a very
kind of.
yeah. It's a very do things like. Apparently, if people steal, as long as you don't make a scene in public, you're basically allowed to do what you like.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
there was a little more nuance to it, but
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we
that-
didn't really get into the nuance that much because we weren't there that long.
That was what you were told, but when you were in there in actual fact, you didn't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
There was actually a lot of strict social structure, I feel like.
Oh, I mean that's drow for you.
Yeah.
Even though these are surface drow, they're still drow. Strict social rules, kind of their thing.
Hmm.
but
I think at that point, Kelariis speaks up saying, "Speaking of, don't you have somebody to go and pick up?"
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just whenever Arya wants to do it.
Arya has concerns.
I mean, assuming Joldrim even knows.
He does. He does.
Well, then yeah, it's just whenever you
Could you
want to.
imagine?
Whenever you want me to take you down there, I'll take you down there.
Yeah, we can go pretty much whenever. I didn't want to cut off V's introduction because she just got back.
Well, I'd love to meet a new friend if you made them.
don't know if friend is
I
the
guess
right
we did
word,
make a new
but
friend
yeah.
down there.
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah, everyone's just looking. I feel like everyone's just looking at Arya now.
Oh.
We got real friendly.
Well, is that in character?
No.
No.
Oh my god, no.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't.
I guess if Vita said that, Arya would just say, yes, one of the drow from Cindershell is coming to the party.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to meet them.
Nice guy.
There's a joke to be made there, but I'm not gonna make it. Not making that joke. Yeah, Elizabeth was gonna teleport us down to pick him up because obviously it's pretty far away. But my parents are here, and so is Grimm's family and Kelariis' family.
My
Everybody's
family.
family.
And Illivan and Simone. I'm assuming they're here by now.
They're not here yet.
Oh no.
Oh shit, were
Well,
we gonna pick
oh.
up Neve as well, or was that not a thing?
Oh, I think you extended the invitation, but you didn't go and get her.
Shit.
But you can. She's not far away. You can go and get her.
I'll go and get her.
Well,
Oh
we
yeah,
still
you
have
can
the
just
broom.
teleport too with your little crazy staff thing.
Oh no,
Or-
no. I can't do that too much. It's only like
Oh, okay.
it's only like sometimes.
Well, if you have something that was taken from the location in the last 6 months, I can teleport you there with guaranteed success.
Well, but you need your powers to get back and forth, don't
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
you?
don't
And
think I'd be
like
able to do that
it's
today.
within, it's not too far away from here.
Yeah, we can walk.
Oh,
seeing the forest
yeah.
again is nice. So
Yeah, fair enough.
That should be
I guess
fine.
it's not too far. Maybe you'll meet in around Simone on the way.
yeah, maybe.
I'm sure they'll show up
unlike-
exactly at the worst possible time.
I suppose actually, if you'd told Neve that she is invited, she knows the way.
That's true. She might just come on.
So yeah, retcon briefly to say she probably is en route, especially if you message her and tell her.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we have a lot of people capable of messaging.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Oh.
So with that, you make arrangements to sort of split up and meet back later for dinner.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth and Arya, you gather together, take up a place out of sight, as you're pretty convinced that people have seen enough people teleporting for one day. And
I
yeah.
think they should get used to it.
Well, also, we probably go up to just one of our rooms, probably. If we're gonna, if people are sick of teleporting, that's a private place.
Well, like,
Also, you can grab any belongings you want to take.
I mean, this is your keep. There's plenty of private places.
Yeah, true.
yeah, it's not like it takes that
We
much.
could just like
Also-
literally go in the war room or something.
Yeah.
Also, it's,
There's a lot
if
of
anybody,
options.
like, it doesn't really matter if anybody sees it anyway.
It's the where we need to go that's troubling. Also, yeah, Arya, make sure you have something that was there in the last 6 months.
I definitely do because I have the scarf that he sent me
And letters.
Cool.
and
Oh,
letters.
of course, yeah. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
s-
And of course, I'll be. Yeah, in fact, she's gonna be like, yeah, and I'll just wait outside for you to get him, and then I'll teleport you back.
Yeah. Well, we're going to House Dormitor. I don't know if we're like picking him up inside or.
well, you gave him a place that you could teleport to outside where you could both meet. But he did want to have a word in private beforehand.
Right. Which I'm sure is nothing bad.
Yep.
When is it ever bad?
It's fine.
So yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
You're gonna have to hold my hand.
Oh yeah.
I've just had the mental image that up until now, Arya's done everything possible to not directly hold Elizabeth's hand to do this, and now she has no choice.
Yeah, it's fine. I imagine Arya wears like fingerless gloves. For
Oh, so that's all right. You're not quite touching her as much as you could be.
well, you know, for like archery shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep your hands safe.
So yeah. With that, you perform the words of the incantation and are whisked to the garden of the Domator Manor. As the two of you materialize within the space, the first thing that comes to your attention is there is a standing in the. I suppose actually probably you teleport to the gazebo. Because that's the most notable place in the garden.
I mean, I've never been there, so.
I have.
It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
you've seen it.
Have I?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been through there, or yeah.
Yeah. You all at some point have been to the House Domator Gardens, and the gazebo is like it's the big structure in the middle of the garden.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you both materialize within the gazebo. To which the immediate thing that draws your attention is there is a large drow woman standing there. Essentially in a set of very low profile but still like fairly distinct leather armor. And she essentially has like one hand on a short sword, like as you arrive, and she seems like rather on edge. She sees you arrive, and like there's like a brief moment of tension as the two of you materialize. At which point, like there's a voice like from the bench behind her, and like Jaldrum like stands up, like places a hand on her shoulder and says, "See, Laura, I told you." At which point she steps to like one side, like eyes Jaldrum for a moment, and just sort of says, "As you wish." At which point, yeah, like Jaldrum sort of like dusts himself off.
Yeah. Elizabeth's just looking between the two of them now, just really confused. But
Yeah, and Jaldrum says, "Mr. Agiad, Miss Tallithsyr, it's good to see you again."
Going
Yeah.
back to last names.
yeah. Yeah, you too. Ready to go back whenever. So.
I believe we agreed to discuss terms before we go anywhere.
Well. Yeah.
He like gestures off to the side and says, "There is a room inside we can use, Miss Tallithsyr."
Yeah. We'll go in there.
I'll just be here.
So, Jaldrum goes to like step aside, and the drow woman like goes to follow him, At which point he just sort of turns and sort of says, "Laura, I'm going inside the manor. I don't think anything's going to happen."
And that's what they think.
Wow. What on earth are you planning to do in there?
Nothing. Just saying things have happened in that manner before.
Wow.
Yeah.
She folds her arms and basically says, "As per our agreement, I will wait outside." At which point, like, Jaldrum sort of like there is like he sighs slightly and then politely says, "As you wish." Steps aside, indicates for you to follow him. You follow the two drow inside, where Jaldrum like turns into one of the like the side rooms, like that is essentially like a small sitting room. Steps inside, gestures for you to go inside as well, Arya. Like turns back to the woman he addressed as Laura, and basically says, "We will have our discussion, and then I will call on you if you're needed." To which she doesn't respond, and he just closes the door. The moment he closes the door, he turns to you, Arya, and just holds a finger to his lips in the universal gesture for shush.
Okay.
Walks towards you and plants a kiss on your lips.
Oh. I was worried he was mad at me. So I'm pretty sure.
At which point, like in a lowered tone, he says, "I've waited far too long to do that."
Goodness. She'll just say, "It's good to see you as well." In the same, she'll match his lower tone.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna sort of gesture towards the door and say, "I'm assuming we're being listened to."
She's not supposed to, but I wouldn't put it past her.
Mm.
Look, so in the interest of total transparency, when I got your letter,
Don't be mad.
I understood what you were trying to say. I'm not happy about it, but I understand it. As you say, people aren't ready for this yet. And as much as it pains me, it will still be nice to spend time with you. However...
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Carry on.
No. Go ahead. If he's not done talking.
Yeah. He sort of says, "However, I have to be totally honest with you. This is not the first relationship that I have had to conceal from public attention."
What the fuck? Who? No, I don't say that, but...
At which point he sort of continues and says, "Whilst the circumstances were drastically different, the terms were rather similar. Unfortunately, neither of us was able to agree on when was the right time for this information to be revealed. And when she decided that she was ready, I was not, and the manner in which she did it posed a risk to both of our careers. And as a result, it ended said relationship. I really don't want that to become the case again. So,
No,
really, what I'm asking you is that let's both decide when is the right time this time."
I assume if she's not holding his hands at this point, she would be.
Yeah. Okay.
And she would say, of course, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's definitely not something I would ever choose to do just on my own, because I'm not the only person in this relationship. I was just asking for time to get people used to the idea of a friendly drow. And then potentially down the road we could let them know that it's a little bit more than friendship. But I would never do anything without asking you first.
Then time you shall have. He sort of like tentatively just like places his forehead on yours and says, "I'm so glad we're on the same track on this."
Of course. I will confess it's a new situation for me, but this is something that's important to me, so I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that it works. Including maybe pissing off all my friends and family. I don't say that part. I
Yeah.
don't say that last part, but
Yeah. He draws back, like smiles at you and says, "In that case, can I impose one other thing on you?"
what is it?
He gestures with his head back towards the door and says, "Laura is an excellent bodyguard, but she has an issue with personal boundaries."
Do I need to cut a bitch? No, I don't say that. But I do say, what exactly do you mean?
I am concerned that the moment we leave this room, she is going to attempt to worm her way into accompanying me. I don't think that is a good idea, but she will not hear it from me. She is under direct orders from Lady Domator to, for want of a better word, babysit me.
I see.
I'm hoping perhaps you can convince her.
I mean, I think it would just be very obvious to say, this is a private event. You were invited, and she was not. If she doesn't believe that we can do a better job protecting you than she could, I think she'll have something else coming, because yeah, I would dare to say we're probably far more powerful than she is. But I will do my best to convince her. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that hard, considering that you're coming to our keep. So.
He nods, like, pauses for a minute and says, "Shall we?"
Yeah. I'll follow him out.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
of course, I'll drop his hands before we get
Yeah.
to the door, because this is a secret. Don't be suspicious.
Secret relationships. Aren't they great?
So great.
Okay. So you, Judgem opens the door. The bodyguard is there, like standing to attention. At which point, like Judgem just sort of like approaches and says, "Well, I suppose that concludes our negotiations."
Yes, I think we've reached terms that satisfy both parties.
Well, then, Laura, I will be accompanying Miss Tallithsyr back to the keep. At which point,
Is this still in the gardens? Or...
No, this is inside.
Okay. So I'm still outside.
You're still outside. Yeah.
I imagine we probably brought you in with us. I mean,
It's up to Elizabeth.
I mean, Elizabeth would have said, "I'll wait here in the gardens," but if you guys are like, "No, come in," then she would still follow.
Oh. I don't know. I don't feel like anyone made the effort to invite you inside.
No. I don't know if they did. And technically, I did say in character, I'll just wait out here.
Yeah. So Laura like sort of just I guess like turns and sort of says then we shall be off. At which point like Jaldrum just like flashes a side look at you.
Yes, we shall be off. I don't know what. Oh fuck, he doesn't have a last name still, does he? I'm not sure what Jaldrum has said to you, but this is a private event hosted by our company for friends of the Amber Eagle. I can assure you that Jaldrum will be in the best of hands and will be more than safe while he visits us.
Okay. Are you attempting to persuade her or just tell her that this is the case?
I mean, probably literally just tell her. Like, it's
Okay.
not really like a thing. Like, it's she's not leaving an opening for her to like make a case for her.
Okay. In that case, give me an intimidation roll.
Oh fuck! My intimidation rolls should be so much better. Why are they so bad? I really need to like spec into them at level 20 or something.
Unfortunately, it will be too late.
I know. See, like, look at this.
She squares up to you and just sort of says, "I understand that that is the case, but I am the bodyguard. It is my duty to ensure that he is protected, and sending him unattended to unknown, possibly hostile territory would be a dereliction of my duties."
You may be the bodyguard, but I'm the girlfriend, you bitch.
Don't say that.
I am tempted to spar with her. And at that, she's gonna bristle a little bit and just say, I can assure you that we are more than capable of defending our friends at this party. I know that you've been in charge of his security up until now, but I don't think I need to remind the heads of this house that we've saved both his life and others' lives in this city before.
Ooh, okay. Make me an intimidation check with advantage for saying, "Don't make me go to your boss."
Hell yeah.
It's still so bad!
Get me a-
Why is Arya so not scary?
Don't make me talk to the manager.
Hmm. Okay.
Be scared of me.
I think like she like goes to like square up even more again, and then seems to think twice about it. Like takes a half step backwards and just sort of says, "If that is what you wish, but consider it noted that I will be logging my discontent with this arrangement."
You're free to log your discontent as all you want, but I assure you that no harm shall come to him while he is with us. We are a large and powerful mercenary group, and I would love to see the fool that would try to come and mess with us when we're at our full strength. And I'll just kind of turn to Jaldrum and nod towards the door and say, "All right, let's go."
Okay. Yeah, you.
Bitch, let's fight. Like, let's go fight.
I feel like Jaldrum just like follows you out, and then like seeing that Laura does not follow and like instead remains inside the house, he just like leans into you ever so slightly as you're about to walk through the door and says, "This is probably going to bite me in the arse later, but that was incredibly attractive."
He's a simp!
He knows what's good.
I love how he's like, I love seeing you threaten to go to the manager.
That's why I like Jaldrum.
Oh.
Arya's just gonna give him a little smile and go, well, I was considering going to blow, so I don't know if that's your
Consider
thing.
it. Oh, this
Oh,
is
God.
just. You had it here first. Joldrum is a sub.
That's true.
Wow.
He very much is not.
I've read the fan fiction. I disagree with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it time. Give it time.
We-
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, you step outside. And yeah, with Elizabeth's help, the three of you return to the keep. The moment you sort of... Sorry.
I was just thinking, like, that's the ultimate question, though. Is it more awkward for Arya to hold to hold Elizabeth's hand, or for Elizabeth to hold Joldrum's hand?
Arya would definitely hold his hand, especially since we're like
Yep.
away from everybody.
I mean, I feel like
No, I mean-
Joldrum holding Elizabeth's hand is like incredibly professional, where he just offers the hand to you.
Yeah,
As
like,
if you were
this is my point,
dancing.
like- well, yeah. Like, this is my point. What's more awkward for Arya?
It doesn't really matter. Either way.
Just holding Elizabeth's
Arya's
hand, or
not the
watching
jealous
Joldrum
type.
hold Elizabeth's hand. Yeah, true.
I mean, Arya was about to be the jealous type if that
Hmm.
chick had been trying
True.
to make moves on him.
True. I think it's because I think Arya probably just knows that Elizabeth is not the kind of person to look at Joldrum and go, yeah, okay.
No. I mean, it's fine. It's just a teleport.
Fellas, is it gay to teleport?
Is it gay?
Is it gay to hold your best friend's hand to teleport him across the realms?
Isn't this more like, is it straight to hold hands?
Is it straight to hold hands?
Yeah, actually it is, because that's what Elizabeth's thinking. Except, yeah, no, not really.
Yeah. Okay. So you return to the keep. Most of the complement of the complement of mercenaries is relatively used to at least seeing names.
Is that who it was?
Auden. Yeah. Most of them are familiar to seeing Auden around the compound, but the arrival of a full drow definitely draws a number of heads. To which Joldrum seems to take in his stride very well. The man is very, very accustomed to being in foreign territory as a diplomatic representative.
I think, yeah, as soon as they arrive, drop hands, and Elizabeth's going to go, well, welcome to the Amber Eagle Keep, Joldrum. There's going to be a lot of people around to make introductions to, but we'll take that as we go.
Yeah. He offers you a bow and says, "Thank you for escorting me, Miss Agiad."
I love him. He's so polite. And if anything happens to him in the course of this party, I will kill everyone and then myself. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
I think
line.
Elizabeth responds to that just by saying, you're very welcome, and, yeah. If you ever need that again, don't be afraid to ask. Probably will be via Arya, but, you know.
He nods and says, "Perhaps I will avail myself of your assistance when this party is over, but until that point, thank you."
I'll leave you two, because I'll presume you'll show him around Arya, but
Yeah,
I'll leave
I'll
you
show
two
him
at this
around.
point. And
He's
then,
also got to meet Lyra, because I
Yeah.
realized he had not met Lyra.
He
Yeah.
he turns back to you, Arya, and says, "A tour would certainly be interesting."
I'll leave you two to it. And Elizabeth's gonna vanish.
Okay.
Presumably
Just
to-
turns invisible and just runs away.
Yeah, she just misty steps away. No.
So awkward. She just turns invisible and like runs off.
you just hear the gravel footsteps as she runs away invisible. No.
And just yelling. "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop."
No, she just turns and walks away. She's just gonna
Yeah.
leave them to it. It's not awkward. She's just like, yep, have fun, you two.
Yep.
Like she obviously knows. She knows a little bit about what's happening, like what must be happening. And she's like, I feel like I should leave them alone.
Yeah, Jordan turns back to you, Arya, and just sort of says, "That was exceptionally interesting. Do you do that all the time?"
Well, we can only do it, twice a day, I think, is Elizabeth's limit, right?
Technically 3 times a day, but yeah.
3 times a day. Well, we only can do it a couple times a day, but it is very convenient, especially if we're going large distances to do it. And she can carry all of our companions with us, so it's pretty good. I figured he might be interested in teleporting.
I think I can take at least 8, up to 8 individuals.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He definitely seems intrigued about this whole process, but he seems to be keeping it to himself for the most part.
You can go poke and prod Elizabeth later for answers.
Yeah, he sort of gestures out to the rest of the keep and says, "Well, some introductions then, perhaps."
Yes. And I don't know who's out here right now, but I'll start introducing him to whoever's
Okay.
around.
Yeah, you start introducing some people.
Yeah, we'll just start introducing, and then, is there anyone of note out here, I guess, that would be interesting to talk to?
Not immediately at the moment, I think, but I think like after a few months of like just sort of doing some casual introductions to members of your company, you come across V and companions once again. And it seems that in your absence, Lyra has attached herself to V.
Makes sense.
V is just like she's not really petting anymore, but she is just kind of like just hugging the floof.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be great to hug a giant direwolf because
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
Floofy.
fluffy.
Even if it's just the tail.
V is probably going on some big rant, like, and then this person did this thing, and like we were there, and I was talking about Gaia, and they were not really believing it, but then this thing happened, and she kind of goes on, and it's like her sentence never stops.
Yeah.
Classic V.
We love V.
My only question is to the people around you or to the dog.
Just mostly to the people around her, but sometimes she will stop and start talking to Lyra, and then she'll focus back to the rest.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm sure Lyra is greatly interested.
Well, Lyra can understand her, right? So,
Yeah.
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 So yes, the rest of you see Arya and Jaldrum approach. I say the rest of you, it's Grim and V, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
and I guess Jaldrum sort of like raises a hand to, mostly to you, Grim, but like to the group in general. And he just says, Commander Daemaris, it is good to be under your hospitality once again.
Yes. Well, feel free to make yourself comfortable around here. It might be people might still be getting used to finding their way around with how new everything is, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Yes.
Wow, we have people calling you Commander now? That's crazy.
Yes. I go by many names.
I mean, yeah, that you have like 5 of them.
Yes. And now I have even more. Well, now I have titles as well. But I appreciate any title anyone comes up with, really, as long as it sounds appropriate.
I'm gonna start calling him a Spoon Lord or something. Was that no? Hang on, Arya was the spoon person.
I was the spoon person. I imagine if Elizabeth actually said that, Arya's gonna shoot her a look like, shut up.
That's why Elizabeth will not say that.
I think Arya's going to shoot her.
Look.
Yeah.
Shoot her.
Yeah, that's what I imagined as well.
Like I'm also pretty sure that was pre-Elizabeth days.
That was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth only knows about that if people have talked about that.
Which I imagine that if anyone talked about it, Arya would kill them. It doesn't get discussed.
Yeah.
Also, hi, is this Drow friend?
Yes, this is Jaldrum, from Cindershell Landing.
He extends
Hi,
a hand
Jaldrim.
to you and says, "Pleasure." And you are
I'm V.
V.
She's one
Yeah.
of our companions who's been with us a long time. She's a dryad. What do you have like a name that you call your grove? Is there like a specific name?
Yeah, it's Naeyanath.
Okay, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's
And
fine.
I'll say she's a grove Naeyanath.
He seems intrigued by that fact and sort of says, a half-tried. I had heard tales, but I did not know there were any outside of the forests."
Oh well, I think I'm kind of a special case. I kind of wander around a lot, especially these days. It's nice to see the world.
He smiles and sort of says, "I would agree if I were not stuck inside for the majority of my time."
Yeah, I know what that feels like. But it's nice. I have not heard a lot of things. I just know that my friends made a drow friend, so I guess that makes sense for us too. So
I suppose by extension that does.
Yes, Jaldrim will be staying with us for the party, so maybe you can talk at some point again. I don't know. How do people make friends?
There
Arya's
will be
not good at
plenty of
that.
time to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of introduces himself to Lily and to Mac as well. Before eventually coming to Lyra, and he just sort of says, "And I suppose, now that we are formally acquainted, this must be Lyra."
Yes, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce you. And I like sort of walk over and give her a little ear scratch.
ear
She
scratch.
she accepts the ear scratches while looking at Jaldrim. Jaldrim sort of like very tentatively like offers a hand, to which Lyra just sort of like sniffs it very gently, just turns to like look up at you, Arya, and just gives you a very questioning look. He
I
smells
imagine...
familiar.
Wonder why?
Because she went away one night and then she came
yeah.
back smelling of this guy.
They have met before, but yes.
Not in person.
Lyra is now just like,
She went away one night and came back smelling like this person.
I imagine Arya's probably told Lyra about him. So like she knows who he is.
Okay.
After she realized they didn't actually
Oh, that's giving me another great mental image of everyone's asleep and Arya's just just out of trance and she's just there petting Lyra, whispering into Lyra's ear all about Jaldrim.
Yeah.
It's great to have someone who can't talk to anybody else.
Oh, but she can.
Well, that's what you think. Hello.
Well,
yeah.
she can. She's probably not going to.
Yeah, that's why I have Scarlet. Which is the point.
Yeah.
I would have resummoned her as soon as
Yeah.
we got back.
Yeah, you've had plenty of time. Yeah. I still love the mental image that Scarlet just exists as a rubber duck for Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Just working on spell stuff and just rubber ducking with a literal pseudo-dragon.
Yeah, that's Elizabeth in a nutshell.
Multiple
times the professors have walked in and that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
Just in the lab.
I imagine there are
yeah.
more than a company there. Anyway, acquainted, yeah. More than acquainted with that.
Yep. So is everyone in the keep, probably.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, by this point as well, Grim, you have probably had time to read the letter that
Oh yes.
Llewellyn handed over to you. So I will show it to you.
Well, let's see.
You're not entirely sure what is meant by the warning question mark at the end.
Well, I don't actually see it.
Oh.
Which
Oh, whoops! I showed it to Helena instead of you for some reason.
GG.
It's fine.
I think that's
We're
because
basically the same person.
I cloned the letter. That was my mistake.
The wrong person of the Benelux.
Oof.
There you go.
Wait, where is it?
I just showed it to you.
I'll just in case I'll reload roll 20.
Yeah,
but,
it's in
there we
your
go.
letters. Yeah.
It showed up. It shows up now. Good.
Huzzah.
That's the. See. Oh yeah, I don't know like if the others also want to know what it says.
I mean, yeah, I can show it
But,
to them.
Yeah, like I feel like oh. Okay, well, my roll 20 just completely died.
F.
Whoops.
Oh, Lithari can't come. That's sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could only get one guest.
Yeah,
Make
well.
sure. And he doesn't just hide himself away in a back room somewhere.
Yeah.
He's not the most sociable. Bless him.
See where that litter's hiding itself.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yep.
There's not a lot of things Lithari wouldn't do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really much of a warning.
Yeah.
Wait, in which time did you hide this note?
In your letters.
letters, there it
Journal
is.
letters, Grimm's letters.
I found it. Oh, there we go.
But yes. So I think with that, you spend the rest of the afternoon sort of introducing people, getting them shown around the keep, having some casual discussions until.
By the way, V is definitely doing her spiel about Gaia to random mercenaries.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
And then there's Elizabeth who's just introducing her family by going, "This is my dad, he's a warrior. This is my mum, she's a warrior. This is my grandma, she's a warrior."
Yep.
Just they were all mercenaries or soldiers at some point, or currently are.
Yes. A military family.
Yes. And then she's just there like, "I'm a wizard." Everyone's a fighter except Elizabeth.
I feel like Grimm's dad and your grandmother could have some very interesting conversations.
Also, I feel like Grimm and Pericles could have some interesting conversations because they probably think very similarly, or at least in
Maybe.
terms of they like military strategy and
Possibly.
and tactics.
Maybe.
Pericles was always the thinky fighter, then Cleomenes just likes hitting things.
Yeah.
That's her brothers in a nutshell. Cleomenes likes hitting things and arm wrestling, and Pericles likes actually thinking things through.
Right. Yeah, so with that, like, yeah, introductions are made, you are shown around the keep. Those of you who don't already have rooms are given your rooms and assigned up spaces. And the keep is beginning to get quite full at this point. Like, there are a lot of people resident here now that you have all these guests. Though there are still some key guests that are missing. But at this point, I think it is a very good time for us to take a break.
Cool.